I have a couple of things to think about for tomorrow, everybody. Number one, Trump's going to lose. He's going to lose badly. He's going to be wrecked. I don't know what the electoral college count's going to be at the end of this, but it's going to get loud and it's going to get hard for him. Their panic is extraordinary. Their events in Georgia and North Carolina are basically about as well attended as a Pokemon card trading convention in Ass Crack, Alabama. From a reliable source inside the Trump campaign, that Chris LaCivita was thrown off the Trump travel plane by Corey Lewandowski yesterday. He's denying it to reporters, but it's true. And we've got you got a campaign ending in chaos, and you got another campaign that was able to do tears to knock on 3 million doors. Guys, the better campaign is going to win this one.
He's going to lose.
He's going to lose. Scaramucci, the biggest rat and snake of them all.
Think ahead.
It's not even going to be that close, actually. So I know everyone's talking about how close it's going to be, but they're underrepresenting the women and they're over-calculating because they've been embarrassed, the pollsters, twice with the under-polling of Donald Trump supporters. So they've over-calculated for them and they've underrepresented the amount of women.
Yeah, it's not going to be close, just like it happened. Trump won by landslide.
that are voting for the vice president. So, you know, he's going to lose. I think he senses it a little bit. I think you could see in the agitation and a little bit of the desperation of the doubling down on the racism and the misogyny and all the things that he thinks going to.
Which planet was this guy on? It was unbelievable. The misinformation that was out there was unbelievable.
Saying things that are mind-boggling. I think the weird thing that's happened, Nick, if you don't mind me saying so, is that the American people give him a pass on everything that he says. But I think what actually blew him up is the MSG rally, because his acolytes do not get that same pass. So when they're calling Puerto Rico a pile of garbage, or they're saying they want to slaughter their Democratic opponents, or somebody like Steve Miller saying America is for Americans, and it's sort of paraphrasing Adolf Hitler, those guys don't get a pass from the American public. And they're like, wait, whoa, Trump is bringing those guys in. They're going to try to out-Trump Trump in the White House. And I think that burst his bubble about eight or so days ago.
This didn't age well at all. It didn't age well. I don't know where he's hiding now.
Kamala, what are we going to say to Donald Trump in November?
Bye, bye, bye.
You know, well, I think he's fading. I've said that for a long time, but he's probably still has, I was talking to a friend of mine in New Hampshire yesterday, probably 25 to 30% support. You get a crowded field, he could come out of there, he could win, but he's never going to be president of the United States. Thank God he's not going to be that. However, I mean, he's still a force in the party, but not as strong as a force.
Am I going to worry about it? First of all, I'm not going to worry about it, Phil, because he's not going to win.
So you think he's just worn it out? You think people are just going to...
If you've not subscribed, please do so. I'm trying to get to 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year. If you haven't, I appreciate that. Cheers.
Get
Enough. I
just
feel
category fatigue.
I mean, it's just going to be, we're talking about a few 100,000 people perhaps, but I think it's going to be a little closer than that. First of all, she's definitely going to win the popular vote, as Democrats almost always do now. I think she will win. I think he will, of course, go batshit insane, as he always does. He won't accept it. His followers, I think, I don't think their heart will really be in it, as it was in 2020. Some of them, there's lots of people who will always be in the bunker with Mrs. Goebbels, taking the poison and giving the poison to the children, because it's better than living in a world without National Socialism. I make an analogy, but I don't say he's a Nazi. But
come on,
I think for most people, it's just fatigue. Yes, I think it's time.
I was talking to the guy in the store, of course, asking him, did he vote? And he said he did early voting, and he asked me if I early voted. And he asked me, you know, why I was getting the champagne. And I said, because I'm going to be toasting Madam President tonight. And he just looked at me with kind of like a smirk on his face. And I said, you know, she's going to win this, right? And he says, oh, well, it's very, very close. And I said, no, it's not. He says, well, what do you mean? I said, no, it's not. The women of America are making reproductive rights is what it all comes down to. And the women are voting in numbers relative to men that are unbelievable. She's won this. And I said to him, she's going to take every one of the swing states plus Iowa. And he said, oh, but the numbers are so close. I said, I'm a political analyst. I'm telling you right now, the numbers are there. She's taking this election. And then I said to him, you realize, and he didn't tell me who he voted for, but of course I knew. And I said, you do realize you wasted your vote, right? And I didn't care.
This lady is sweet.
With my bottle of champagne and happily walked home. Bye-bye.
Oh, God.
So, as you know,
She's
Kamala
back.
Harris did not win the election. As the numbers stand right now, there were 18 million fewer votes than in 2020. And as I have said all along, you have to have a huge, huge turnout, and it goes to the Dems. And we didn't have it.
No.
There is one fundamental thing that you cannot account for when you're using data to predict or project the outcome of an election, is you can't factor in active racism,
Racism.
and misogyny.
Oh, the math has shown Donald Trump has no chance of winning in November of 24. He wouldn't even win Georgia. If you're a Republican that can't win Georgia of November 24, you have no shot, and he's proven that. So, and proven it, but the candidates he gets behind in a good conservative state like Georgia lose the race. His messaging doesn't translate. It does well with a hardcore 35% base, but he loses everybody beyond there. And no one is undecided about the former president. There's no one out there going, well, maybe I might consider voting. No, you know where you are. He's a known commodity, and so the math doesn't add up. So if Republicans nominate him, then we're saying a vote for him in the primary is effectively a vote for Joe Biden. I mean, that's ultimately how the math will play out.
Okay.
Attention MAGAs. It's 2 days from the election, and it's about time somebody talks to you, with 2 days left to go in the election. We have to talk to you now, because on election night, you're going to find out very quickly, even though Donald Trump is going to claim victory, within a few hours, you're going to find out that's nonsense and that he lost badly.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm just on here now to prepare you, because the last thing we want to hear is the whole, somebody cheated, somebody didn't count the vote. He's going to lose by millions and millions and millions of votes. And you want to know why? Because people have just had enough.
All right, here it is, everybody. My final map. No more light colors and mixed colors. It's only red or blue. Check it out. Now, I did change Florida blue. I was verging on having it as a lean. But you know what? Where's Ron DeSantis? How come he's not stumping for Trump? Because he knows. The rest is self-explanatory. But I have to say, I'm not shy about putting 349 electoral votes in the lap of Harris.
Okay.
She's going to get those. She might get more. There may be more shocking things happening here, because I have a weird feeling about Texas. I don't know. San Antonio people are saying they're voting for Harris. So for now, this is my final map. It's right there, and I'm not changing it.
Great.
Harris it's going to be a blowout.
It can be argued that this indictment or even a conviction would not prevent his supporters from standing by him. If he wants to be elected president again, people who did not vote for him the last time around voted for Joe Biden. Now, can anybody, in any real world that you can imagine, would people, in the light of this and all else that happened after the 2020 election, going to vote for him this time, who didn't the last time? Hard to believe.
Hard to believe. All these guys, I don't know what they were smoking, but they were definitely on something, because all the data, we could see it from Wakanda. Was it the pollsters that were convincing them, or what? You could see it on the ground, people interviewing local Americans, not those ones on pundits, those media pundits. It was clear Trump was going to win. Very clear, but I don't know what these guys, they were really thinking. Anyway, that was it. I had some laugh. It was fun. Make sure you subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.